Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second in our fiscal year 2014 series of LIHEAP webinars. This webinar is brought to you by the Office of Community Services in conjunction with our contractor, the National Energy Assistance Directors Association. And today we're going to be talking about a new form that will be required of you as part of the LIHEAP model plan, and it is called the Standard Form 424. The Standard Form 424, or SF 424 as I'm going to refer to it from now on in this webinar, is a government-wide form that is being implemented by all programs in the Administration for Children and Families. It is basically akin to the plan cover sheet that you have been accustomed to completing every year. It asks many of the same questions that the plan cover sheet used to ask, except now it's going to be in OLDC, and it will be part of the LIHEAP model plan. It will be the first section of the LIHEAP model plan when you start completing the LIHEAP model plan in OLDC for submission this September 1st. So it's going to be very similar to the cover sheet that you have done in the past. General overview items about this form. Each field in the form will have an asterisk next to it or not have an asterisk. If there is an asterisk next to the question in the form, then an answer is required to that question. OLDC will not let you submit the form. And remember, this form is part of your model plan, so you won't be able to submit the model plan without answering all of the required questions in this form. There's some new fields that are in the form that you have not seen in the past, such as the organizational DUNS, DUNS number, and congressional districts that are being served by you with LIHEAP funds. Another new thing that is going to be implemented as a result of this form is when you complete the form and complete all the other sections of the LIHEAP model plan, and hit certify and submit in OLDC, that is going to be the new way that you sign the plan, the 16 LIHEAP assurances, and the required LIHEAP certifications. And we'll go through how to do that and what that means in just a little bit. So there are going to be questions in the form that are required, and there are going to be questions in the form that will not have an asterisk and won't be required. Because this is a government-wide form, not every field will apply to LIHEAP. So where there is no asterisk, you do not have to answer that question. For example, question 4B, the Federal Award Identifier Number, you won't have that information, so you won't have to complete it. It has no asterisk. When you first log into the form, the first thing you will see with data pre-populated will be your address. Make sure that you check that very carefully. The address is populated based on information that OLDC has about you as the grantee. If the address is incorrect, please update that information so that our records are accurate. The form is going to ask, like I mentioned, for your organizational DUNS number. This is going to be a required field, so you won't be able to submit the form and the plan without having this number. And so I know that for many of you, you really don't know what that is or how to get it. So we will walk through right now how to look up your DUNS number, how to register for a DUNS number. The first thing I would say before you go through the process of looking up a DUNS number online is to check with your administrative staff and your financial staff. It is very likely that your organization already has a DUNS number. This is a field that is usually required for any kind of grant or application submission for funding to the federal government. So most likely someone in your organization is aware of this information and can provide that information to you. But if you still can't find anyone who knows the organizational DUNS number, there is a way to look it up. And so the way you do that is you go to the Dun & Bradstreet website, and you have the link shown on your screen right now. When you come up to the website, there's a section on the left-hand side that says Register to use iUpdate. And you want to click on the Start Now button in that section like it shows you on the screen. Please keep in mind that in order to look up a DUNS number, you have to be a principal owner, officer, or responsible manager for your organization. And when you do look up your DUNS number in the website, it's going to ask you some personal identity information that you're going to have to confirm through the site. So the first thing you do when you get to the Start Now part of the website is on the left-hand side, it'll ask you to type in the name of your organization and the city and state of the organization headquarters. And then you hit the search button, and it'll come up with search results. And your organization will most likely be in this list of search results. So you look through the search results and select the appropriate organization. There's a checkbox that you click to the left-hand side of each company name in the search results. And then you click the Next button on the bottom right. After that, it'll ask you some personal identity information to verify that you do indeed work for the organization and that you are a principal owner or responsible manager. You complete that information and hit Next. It'll ask you to set up some challenge questions for security purposes, and you'll have to go through that process like you would, say, for a banking website. And then it will ask you to create a username and password. And you'll have to go through that process. As part of the username and password process, it'll ask you for a work email address. And once you submit that information, it will send you an email to your work email. It'll give you instructions for how to log in using a username and password. And so then you'll go back to the Dun & Bradstreet website. And again, the link is right there on the screen in front of you. And log in with your username and password that the website would have sent you to your work email. And as soon as you log in, all of the organizations that are associated with your name, including the one you just looked up, will pop up, and their DUNS number will be there right on the home page once you log in. And that is the number you will need to put into the SF424. Now, if you do not see your organization in the list of search results from the initial search that you do, that means that you will have to create a DUNS profile in the Dun & Bradstreet website and sign up for a DUNS number. There will be a blue button on the left below the search results that says Request a DUNS number, and you'll need to click on that. And again, before you go through the process of requesting a DUNS number, please check with your colleagues in your administrative and financial offices to make sure nobody else is aware of a DUNS number for your organization. It is most likely that your organization already has a DUNS number and maybe something went wrong in the search results. But if you do have to go through the process of creating a DUNS number, the steps are pretty similar. You're going to be asked to fill out user registration information and an authentication form, all on the website. This is what it looks like. You'll also have to answer identity challenge questions, just like you would have for looking up a DUNS number. You'll have to go through the process of answering those questions. And when you're done and you submit the application, you will see on the next screen there will be a date where the system will tell you how long you have to wait until you receive your DUNS number. It's called the expected delivery date. It usually doesn't take very long to get a DUNS number. They just have to process your application at the organization. and you'll be updated when your DUNS number is ready, or you can log back into the website because you will have created a username and password in order to create a new organization and new DUNS number in the website. So you can log back in after the expected delivery date, which you'll be able to see, and your DUNS number will appear once you log in. It'll also be mailed to you. So the next important field in the SF424 after the DUNS number for you to pay attention to is question 8A, type of applicant. In this question, you will be asked to you'll be asked to select either state government, tribal organization, tribal government, or territory government. There are other alternatives for you to select, but you should be selecting one of those 4 options depending on what kind of grantee you are. Also, please keep in mind in question 7, the form would automatically pre-populate the point of contact information for the first person who initializes the model plan in SF424 in OLDC. So if that first person is not the LIHEAP coordinator, make sure you update the contact person information to reflect the LIHEAP coordinator. So the contact information for question 7F should be that of the LIHEAP coordinator. That will be the main point of contact for our office to answer any questions that we have about the LIHEAP plan that you submit. It does not need to be your governor or your chairman or the person who actually signs the plan, unless the governor or chairman is the main point of contact for all of our questions regarding your LIHEAP plan. There's a new field in the SF424 that wasn't in the LIHEAP plan cover sheet before, to do with the CFDA number and CFDA title. But we have asked the programmers to pre-populate that information, so you won't have to worry about that. That information will automatically appear in the form. You won't be able to edit it because LIHEAP has only one CFDA number and one CFDA title for purposes of audit reporting. Question 11 is an example of a question that is not required. It asks you to provide a name for your application or project. This is not something that you need to complete. As a reminder, this form is being used across all of government for every grant application. So in some cases, somebody applying for a grant will need to provide a name for their project. But in your case, you do not, so you can skip question 11. It does not have an asterisk, so it is not a required field. Another new set of requirements in the SF424 are congressional district information. There are 2 questions relating to congressional districts. Question 13A asks for the congressional district of the applicant. In this case, you will need to look up the congressional district associated with the address of your agency headquarters. Question 13B asks for congressional districts that the program or project is going to serve. If you are a state or territory grantee, you can just type in statewide or territory-wide for question 13B and move on to the next question. But if you are a tribal grantee, you will need to put in all of the congressional districts associated with your LIHEAP service area. So if your service area expands past a reservation or incorporates multiple reservations or villages, you will need to put in congressional districts that are represented by all of your service areas. If you run out of space in question 13B, you can attach an additional document with all of the relevant congressional districts for your service area. So if you do not know how to look up your congressional district, I'm going to walk through how to do that. You can do it online. It's pretty simple and quick. You go to the website for the U.S. House of Representatives, www.house.gov, and right there on the front page, on the home page, on the right-hand side at the top, there is a place to put in your zip code. You just put in the first 5 digits of your zip code and push go. And based on that zip code, you will get your congressional district and the information for your representative. So you just need to put in, if you have a congressional district that you serve in Kansas, it'll tell you that for the state of Kansas, this is, say, the 3rd Congressional District. So you can just write KS-3 for Kansas 3rd District. If your service area or your agency headquarters is in a zip code that contains more than one congressional district, which sometimes that happens in large population areas, you will be redirected to another page where it'll ask you for your zip code plus 4, so the first 5 digits plus the last 4. If you know the last 4 from your agency headquarters, you can put that in. If not, you should be able to put in your business address, and the same information will be able to give you your required congressional district. If you are unaware of the address particularly, you can go to the United States Postal Service website and try to look it up that way. But normally you should have mail correspondence that will give you your last 4 of your zip plus 4, and you could put that in, hit search, and it'll give you the same congressional district information. Make sure that for question 14, the funding period, that information is automatically pre-populated with dates that don't make sense. They say 01-01-0001. Make sure that you put the dates of the fiscal year 15, federal fiscal year. So in this case, it's October 1, 2014 to September 30, 2015. So make sure those dates are correct for 2015 fiscal year. Please note that question 15, estimated funding amount, will be pre-populated at 0. This is not to suggest that your LIHEAP funding will be at $0. It just means that at the time that you fill out this form, we do not yet have a budget for federal fiscal year 15, and thus we do not know what your LIHEAP funding is going to be, and thus you don't know what your LIHEAP funding is going to be. So this is one of those questions that will not apply to LIHEAP grantees. It will automatically read 0. Don't worry, though, you'll get more than $0. So the biggest change with the SF-424 and the model plan in OLDC is that the governor or chairman or designee will need to have their own account in OLDC, because we are no longer going to have a physical signature to the assurances like we did in the past. This will be done electronically when you click Certify, click to sign, and submit on the plan once you're done completing all the sections. So when you create an account for your governor or chairman or designee in OLDC, you'll need to make sure that you include their title in their account information. OLDC will allow you to create a new account even if you leave the title field blank. But if I don't have a title associated with the person who signs, certifies, and submits the plan, I cannot I cannot know out of hand that it's per se your governor, chairman, or the designee assigned in your delegation letter. So it's very important that you include the position title of the person who's going to be responsible for certifying and submitting your plan. This would have been the person who in the past was responsible for signing the plan physically. At the very bottom of Standard Form 424, there is some language that says, by certifying and submitting this form, you agree to the assurances and certifications for LIHEAP. Make sure that you click the I agree checkbox under question 18. And when you're done with that, you do not certify or submit, because that is only the first section of the plan, and the rest of the sections deal with the actual LIHEAP model plan. You will need to save this section, as you will every section in the plan, before moving on. And you can click validate if you'd like. When you click validate, it will let you know if there are any errors, if you have any required fields blank. But you should not submit just this form on its own. If you hit submit, if you try to submit this document without filling out the rest of the model plan, the system will not let you do so. So when you've completed all of the sections of the LIHEAP model plan, including the standard form 424, the plan needs to be certified and submitted in OLDC. And like I said, the person who would normally sign your plan physically in the past has to have their own OLDC account, log into OLDC, and click the Certify, click to Sign, and Submit buttons on the LIHEAP model plan and SF424. All OLDC users who are grant administrators, which are all of the LIHEAP coordinators and in some cases additional staff in each LIHEAP office, are able to create new OLDC accounts for other users in their office for LIHEAP. And there is actually a great webinar that walks you through step by step on how to create an OLDC account. When you log into OLDC, normally you go to the top and click on Report Form Entry to submit your forms. But if you log in and you look at the very bottom option, there's a section that's called News and Tips. Do not confuse News and Tips with the Help FAQ section. Do not click on the Help FAQ section. That link does not work. So for all of the actual guidance and help that you need to click on News and Tips. And if you click on that, you'll come up with a whole long list of various webinars and PDF documents that provide guidance on how to use OLDC. If you scroll down to the FVPS Training Demonstrations section, there is a link called OLDC Assignment Delegation. You click on that and it will automatically pop up a webinar that was taped that shows you step by step how to create a new account and how to assign particular job type to a new user, which you will need to do for your chairman or governor or whoever they delegate to sign your plan. When you create a new account for your governor or chairman, you will get to a point in the new account procedure where it will ask you what job type to use. Make sure you select the authorizing official job type. That job type will allow any user to certify, click to sign, and submit any form, and they will allow the user to view the form, but it will not allow that user to edit any of the information in the form. If you want to have a delegation letter from your governor or chairman, please make sure that you have several things in this delegation letter. For tribes that often have a blanket resolution from their tribal council allowing their vice chairman or their secretary to act on behalf of the chairman, that will not be acceptable as a delegation letter for LIHEAP. The delegation letter for LIHEAP needs to have specific language, which we will review in just a second. We also recommend that the delegation letter does not name the designee by name, but rather by title, so that if you ever have changes in that position, you will not need a new designation letter. We also recommend that you do not specify the fiscal year of the LIHEAP program in the delegation letter. Otherwise, you will have to have a new one written every year. This is the template language that we recommend that you have in your delegation letter. The governor or chairman needs to specifically delegate their authority to certify to the 16 assurances outlined in the LIHEAP statute. Please make sure that this language or some version of this language is included in your delegation letter or in a tribal resolution signed by the chairman. I'm going to leave this up on the screen for a little while in case you want to write down the language word by word. This webinar will also be posted, where you will be able to download it and be able to copy and paste this language into a delegation letter. And now I will open the floor for any questions that anybody may have.
Great. Thank you, Yulia. So this is Cassandra Letra from NIHEAP, and I'm going to start the question and answer session in just a second. And Yulia, while we're waiting for some people to get into the queue, I had a question come across over the chat window. And it was in regards to the LIHEAP coordinator. You said for the contact information, it should be the LIHEAP coordinator. And who do you consider that to be? Is it the program manager, the division director?
I would say that it would be the person most able to answer specific questions about the content in the LIHEAP plan. Usually it's the same person whose contact information we list on our website for the public to contact for questions about LIHEAP. So I will leave it to the grantee to determine who best to contact. But that will be the person that our office will treat as the primary point of contact for any questions we have about any of the content in the LIHEAP plan.
Okay. And we have a couple people in the queue. The first one is a 608 area code. You're going to get some automatic instructions, and then go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Yulia. This is Jane Blank. Just a question. You said you were going to post this webinar. Is that going to be on the OCS website, or where will that be posted?
This will be posted on the training section of the performance measurement website.
Oh, great. Okay. All right. Thank you.
And we can also distribute the slides afterwards as well. So I'll send out a blanket email with, to everybody with all the slides, and you can request them from myself or Gabe Wheel if you want. Hold on just one second. Here's the next question.
Hi, this is Bernadette Pantier from the Pueblo of Zuni. I just had a question. Last year I submitted the plan online through OLDC, and I forgot my user and password. Is there a link on the OLDC website to help me retrieve those information?
Yes, there is. When you log in, there is a link that says forgot username and password. And if that doesn't work, you can also contact your liaison, and they can help you with your username, and then they can help reset your password in the system.
Okay. Thank you.
The next question is from a 907 area code.
Hi, Yulia. This is Susan from Alaska, and I have two questions for you. First, I'm getting the feeling that this is going to be something new for our governor or designee who is authorizing the plan. Are they signing this for other programs as well, so they're going to be familiar with this process, or will it be up to us to get some of their time and train them as to how to sign into OLDC, review the plan, and approve it? That's question number one. And question number two is, don't the feds already have our DUN numbers? Isn't there a way they can provide them to us instead of us going through that whole song and dance of looking them up and creating them? And it just seems like it's such a big thing that if we're already getting funding from the feds, you guys must already know our DUN number. Thank you.
Hi, Susan. Thank you. Those are both good questions. I know that the 424 is a required form for starting in 15 for any funds received from the Administration for Children and Families. So, for example, if your governor had to sign like a CSBG plan, he might have to do this for CSBG as well. However, not every program couples the SF 424 with the plan document itself. So this may be new for your governor. He or she may not know what the steps are. So you may need to train him or his secretary on how to log in and how to access the plan. This is something new across government that's being implemented. So he'll probably have to do it more than once. But if you're first on the docket, you may have to be the one providing the training. In terms of the DUN number, I think that it is true that the general air quote feds do already know your DUNS number, but we don't all talk to one another because we're not as efficient as we should be. So in terms of the Administration for Children and Families, we do not have a record of your organization's DUNS number, which is why they are requiring that you start submitting it.
Okay, so is there somebody at the federal government that we can call to get that instead of going through? To me, it just seems like that's a whole headache waiting to happen to get the DUN number, and then, I work in a state, and I have no idea who to contact to get our DUN number. To me, it's going to be a huge burden to get that DUN number. And I would like to know if there's somebody on the federal government I can contact to get our DUN number, because it just doesn't make sense that you're going to be asking 50 states plus tribes plus territories to all be going into a system to get a number that somebody at the federal government already has.
I don't know if there's a point of contact in the government because the DUNS number is something that is created by a private organization, Dun & Bradstreet, which is why I went through the slides on how to access their website to find out what your DUNS number is. And I think that every state agency, not state government, but every state department has its own DUNS number. So I know it's a requirement for any discretionary grant or grant application. So you may want to ask your colleagues who submit discretionary grant applications if they know what the DUNS number is. Normally, this is something the accounting office knows for any given organization.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, our next question is from a 503 area code.
Hi, this is Kim Rogers, and my question had to do with the same person being the essentially person submitting it and certifying it. Is there any problem with that? What we've done on these, the chair doesn't particularly want to learn a lot of pins and logins. And what we do is do a resolution where if it's paper, the chair or vice chair sign, and if it's electronic, then it's delegated to me or my position, my title, I guess. So my title isn't the same as LIHEAP coordinator, although I serve that function.
So you should have the chairman sign. If it's a resolution, make sure that the template language that's on the screen right now is in the resolution, and the title should be your title, not the words LIHEAP coordinator. It should be what your actual title is.
Okay.
Then you just need to make sure that your OLDC account has your title in it. And if it does not, contact me or we'll contact your liaison, and we can work with the OLDC help desk to add your title to your account.
And I guess the other question, I don't remember, it's been a while since I've been into OLDC, but if I'm already in it, but do I already have that authorizing?
Yes, if you're already in it and you are the coordinator for LIHEAP for your tribe, you're a grant administrator. Did you submit your forms last year to us in OLDC?
Yep.
So you have the ability to certify and sign and submit all the forms. So what you would need is the delegation letter from your chairman.
So when you say delegation letter, we also talked about resolution. Do we need both? Or
No, they're synonymous.
in resolution?
Yeah, I just need to make sure that if you do a resolution, A, the chairman signs it, and B, this language that I have up on the screen is in the resolution.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, the next question is from a 207 area code.
Hello?
Yes, you're on.
I'm from the state of Delaware. My question is the delegation letter from the governor or chairman. Is that an attachment or is that buried in the OLDC?
It's an attachment you'll have to attach to your plan.
Okay, it is attached. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We just have a couple more people in the queue. The next question is from a 617.
Yes. This is Candy from the Heuristic Band of Micmacs. And my question is can we print the plan before we save and verify and submit it at any point? Is there a way to print that?
Yes, you can print the plan if your chairman wants to review it on paper before you certify and submit it.
Okay, because he will not sign and certify anything until Tribal Council has reviewed it. So.
Right. That makes sense. People shouldn't sign things that they haven't read, and and yeah, you can absolutely print a copy before you send it to us. But saving is not the same as certifying and submitting. You do need to save it at every step so you don't lose any of the information you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
But saving just means that what you type in doesn't get erased.
So I will be able to print it before I certify?
Yes, before you certify and submit, you can print it.
All right, thank you.
Hi, Elia. This is Aikem Rahman from Massachusetts. I have a quick question about the funding amount. Since there will be no funding amount mentioned in OLDC, will states be allowed to pick an anticipated funding amount just for the planning purposes? Because we usually put a number in our draft state plan for public hearing and benefit setting discussions.
No, on the SF 424, that field will not be one that you can edit. It'll just say 0. It won't be editable.
Okay, so for public hearing purposes, what would you suggest that we do? Because we usually present a benefit scenario to our subgrantees.
Well, you can estimate a funding amount for your public hearing purposes. You don't need to include the SF 424 in your public hearing.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Next question is from a 405.
Good afternoon, Yulia. This is Margaret from Citizen Potawatomi Nation.
Hello.
Hi. I'm slightly confused with the template language. We've always had a delegation letter from the chairman that allowed our vice chairman to sign the certifications, but this adds the administration, which is normally at our level. So are you saying that now it's a twofer? This designation does two things?
So technically, the administration of the program is at a technical level performed by the person who signs the plan.
Okay.
And then, you're in the organizational hierarchy, you're under him.
Correct.
So that should be fine. That doesn't mean that the person who signs the plan automatically becomes the LIHEAP coordinator or starts processing intake applications.
Okay.
It just means that's the highest person in the organization who's responsible.
Okay, so what we've normally done is fine.
Yes. Just make sure this language is in there or something very similar to this language.
Okay, and the comment earlier about a DUNS number?
Yes.
As far as the tribes go, we have to do this all the time with grants, so whoever does grants at those entities needs to talk to their grant people. We only have one DUNS number for the tribe, however.
Right. Each tribe has just one DUNS number, but I think for state government, each state department has a different one.
Ooh, thank goodness I don't work there. Thank you. I did have one more question before I.
Yes.
And we are negotiating with the state, so one of my attachments should be then the agreement we reach?
One of your attachments should be your state tribe agreement, yes.
Very much.
All right, we have one more person in the queue, and I also got a question via chat. Somebody wanted to know, is the model plan, is the current model plan available now in the OLDC system, and if not, when will it be?
It is not yet available. We're in the end stages of getting OMB approval for it. I am hoping that it will be available in OLDC by mid to late June. And we'll send out an email blast when it goes live in OLDC.
And in the meantime, there's a PDF and a Word version, correct?
There's a PDF version available on our website, and there's a Word version available if you email me or one of your liaisons.
Now, real quick, I just want to ask Yulia. Mike had said he was going to retire or something soon. Is he still around?
He is,
okay.
I believe, till August.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. I'll email him. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we have no more questions in the queue for right now.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for your participation. Like Cassandra said, we'll be emailing out the slides, and then we'll post this whole webinar with my recording and all the questions and answers recorded on the performance measurement website in the training section. If you have any other questions in the interim, please feel free to reach out to me or to your regional liaison, and we will answer the best we can. Thank you.